Edward Blake was a man who had it all: a grand mansion, luxury cars, a name everyone knew. His life was calculated, controlled, and busy. He rarely came home before midnight, and his children barely knew the sound of his footsteps. But one evening, without notice, he decided to come home early. He stepped out of his sleek black car, briefcase in hand, as the sun dipped behind the horizon, casting a golden hue over his sprawling estate. As Edward walked through the cold marble halls of his mansion, something felt different. There were no servants in sight, no formal greetings, only silence, until a soft sound broke through: laughter. Children's laughter. He stopped in his tracks. It had been so long since he'd heard his twins laugh like that. His curiosity piqued. He followed the sound toward the nursery. As he approached the door, it was slightly ajar. Warm light poured out, and a gentle voice was telling a story. Not just any story, his late wife's favorite bedtime tale. He leaned closer, his heart beating faster. Who was in there? And then he heard it. "Mama Nina, tell it again." Mama Nina. His brow furrowed. That was the maid's name. But why were his children calling her Mama? Maid Nina playing with the twins. Inside, he saw Nina, the young maid, sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by toys, laughter, and love. She was wearing his late wife's apron, the one she had worn while baking cookies with the kids. Nina smiled warmly as the twins hugged her, snuggling close as she sang them a lullaby. Edward's heart froze. This was not her place. His late wife had passed only 2 years ago. How dare she pretend to take her place? Furious, Edward slammed the door open. Edward shouted, "What do you think you're doing? Wearing her apron? Calling you Mama? This is not your family." Nina stood up in shock, eyes wide, trembling. The twins clung to her legs, frightened by their father's sudden outburst. "I'm sorry, sir. I never meant." But Edward didn't listen. "You're fired. Leave this house. Immediate." As Nina tried to gently pull away from the children, they screamed in tears. "No, Daddy, no. Don't send Mama Nina away. She plays with us. She reads to us. She loves us." One of the twins sobbed, "She's like Mommy. She's the only one who's here with us." Edward stood there, his heart twisting. He looked down at his children. When was the last time he had played with them, hugged them, or even listened? That night, Nina left the mansion quietly. No protest, no complaint. Just a small bag in hand and tears in her eyes. She walked alone to the bus stop, under the dim glow of a street lamp, the rain gently falling around her. Behind her, in the shadows, Edward sat in his car, watching, regretting. His children's cries still echoed in his ears. Restless, Edward returned to his study. He hadn't been there in weeks. As he opened a drawer, something caught his eye, a yellowed envelope addressed to him in familiar handwriting. His wife's handwriting. He opened it slowly, hands trembling. "Edward, if you're reading this, I'm gone. Our children will need love, not money. Don't just provide, be present. And if you can't, let someone who truly loves them be there in your place. That's all I ask." His heart sank. He realized Nina had done what he had failed to do. The next morning, Edward walked into the twins' room. They sat silently on their beds, eyes puffy from crying. He knelt down beside them, his voice soft, trembling. "I'm sorry. I've been a stranger to you. But I promise, that changes now." He hugged them tight, something he hadn't done since their mother died. The children clung to him, whispering, "We miss Mama, and Mama Nina." Without a second thought, Edward drove back to the bus stop. Nina was there, waiting for the morning bus. He stepped out, walked up to her and held out his hand. "Nina, please come home. Not as a maid, but as family. The kids, they need you. And so do I." Tears welled in Nina's eyes as the twins ran up behind him, calling her name with joy. Days turned into weeks, and everything changed. The mansion that once echoed with silence now rang with laughter. Edward began working from home. He played, laughed, and learned to love again. Nina wasn't just the maid anymore. She was part of their family. And for the first time in years, the Blake mansion felt like home. Years later, a photo sat proudly on the mantel. Edward, Nina, and the twins, smiling together as one family. Beneath it, a plaque read, "Family isn't who you're born to, it's who stands by you with love."